need one thing to find you. Come see you in my dream every night. Help me think about saying like good. Cause when you try to waste like
WEFM, the clean fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, then St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 21 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning time as we jump inside our first segment right here on WEFM 99.9. Let's do it for another day. Tuesday morning here on SVG. So, Roleza, good morning to you once again.
Good morning, Maka. Good morning to everybody near and far. We're happy that you have joined us this morning to help you start your day. And I'm hoping that everybody would have a good one today. You on the countdown?
You ready for speed?
Interestingly, I actually looked at the light. So I am not into streamers like in that way. But I actually looked at the live from Barbados for probably like an hour and a half, the ending of it, because he was in Barbados yesterday. And to be honest, I actually did enjoy it.
You enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I caught the part from him being on the sea when he did the he was in the like these motor vessels that look like cars. So he was in one of those.
I saw that one.
Right. So he was in that, and then the rap battle that happened afterwards. I think the funniest part of it for me was when the guy who was doing the quote unquote rap battle with him, and Speed had to ask for a translator because he couldn't understand what the guy was saying. I found that part was so funny, but I actually did enjoy it. And I mean, I'm not, as I said, I'm not necessarily the type of person who would look at a live stream in that way. But I suppose because he's visiting the Caribbean and different countries in the Caribbean, I feel a little bit more. I feel like I can appreciate that a bit more, right? So I did enjoy it yesterday.
Strange enough, yesterday talking to adults, they don't know much about him.
I told you before Saturday, I did nothing about the man. I did not know one thing.
The little ones, the kids, know a lot about him.
And that was what it is that I also saw, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think children got half day yesterday in Barbados. So the beach, I was just saying when I saw an image of the beach being crowded, like, how the beach so full? This is like normal in Barbados for the beach to be full during the week. But then I realized what happened. So a lot of school children were on the beach. Some were still in their school uniform. Some had lined the streets, and at different spots that they went to, children were there and they were shouting him and, that kind of thing. So he even picked up somebody's Caucasian child and ran with them for a little bit, but it was interesting to look at. And, a friend of mine, we were having a little discussion about it. Because it makes absolutely no sense, right? In terms of him, it makes no sense. But I said, you know what? This ain't for us, right? This is not about our generation. It probably doesn't make a lot of sense to us,
right? But
to the children, and as long as, and I'm not just talking about IShowSpeed, I'm talking about the streamers in general, or even influencers to some extent. As long as they're not necessarily imparting negativity towards the children, then, sometimes we just have to let them be. But, I was just having the conversation. I said, and what it is that I was liking it to is the way in which that the children were responding to him. I can imagine back in the times of like my parents and so forth. Let's say if Michael Jackson was visiting, or images that we've seen of Michael Jackson visiting places, women just fainting, they're passing out, they're doing this, they're doing the most, So I just said it's not everything for us as older folks. You don't need to run down and just because you don't understand it. So,
what is the itinerary for today, though?
That's the thing. So, Rodney, if you are listening, we'd be grateful if you could call to provide us with an update, right?
Because I saw somebody post an itinerary, and I doubt he could cover all those places the time he's going to be here.
Okay, so I'm seeing here a post from SVG Tourism Authority, and API reshared it. So it's just it's just sounding okay. So let me just read it aloud. We heard you loud and clear. And excuse me, sorry. Ooh, that came out on air. Now it's game time for 3 hours only. All right. So global streaming superstar IShowSpeed is touching down in St. Vincent and the Grenadines today. And trust us, the vibes will go all the way up. This isn't just a visit, it's a full-on experience. Expect spontaneity, expect madness, expect iconic moments. From the streets to the seas, we outside. So tap into the live, pull up, and catch the energy in real time because SVG about to show out, all right? So that's the post there. But in terms of the actual details, I am not seeing that. So let me just try to see if I could get Rodney quickly again. Right. So yeah, I suppose maybe it's just I suppose it's just for us to keep in tuned with social media to see whatever postings are being done today to keep us informed of it, where exactly we should assemble, etc.
You know, a bit smile yesterday. I saw a lady on social media was making noise about she wanted to bake a cake for IShowSpeed. And she was really upset because I don't know who told she that he's not gonna accept it. But she was really, really upset about it.
Yeah, I saw that, but I suppose I need to hear the other side of that conversation before I comment more on it, right? But if persons have been looking at some of his streams, what it is that you will note? Well, I know that he ate the doubles in Trinidad. I know that he ate the chicken, chicken in both Trinidad and Tobago and in Grenada. But even yesterday when he was offered, I can't remember what he was offered in Barbados. I know breadfruit and something else he was offered, but he only took bites of it, right? I don't know if what was shown before I started looking at it, but he only took bites of those 2 things that he was offered, you know, and then he kind of just handed them back. So I can't comment too much on,
I think he
on that.
got a taste of the KFC in Barbados. I think, yeah.
Okay. I know that he went to Chefette's and the 150 persons who lined up, they got a free meal on him. Right. So I know he went to Chefette's, but I'm not sure if he went. If you're saying he went to KFC,
I think
then
I saw a video.
Okay.
He went to KFC in Barbados.
Okay. All right, so we will just stay tuned for whatever is posted on social media by way of updates.
No call from Rodney?
I'm trying to make contact with him, but yeah, not getting through. All right, so.
All right, since we gonna call from Rodney, there's a story on St. Vincent Times that we could deal with. The headline, Furious NDP supporter Arian Smart torches party. 5 months into the new Democratic Party administration, cracks are beginning to show as vocal supporter Arian Smart has publicly condemned the government for failing to clear out civil servants loyal to the previous administration. In a passionate critique, Smart expressed deep frustration that the newly elected NDP government prioritized Amendment 2 constitutional bill regarding Commonwealth citizenship within its first 4 months, while neglecting to purge key ministry position of political appointments. And this is the part really caught me. According to Smart, these officials are loyalists of the ULP who have no love for the current NDP ministers. He accused these civil servants of actively working to undermine the new government, that's a new administration, claiming they are living vigorously through the eyes of Ralph. They're executing his instruction rather than following the directives of the current government. I saw a video with him. Basically, he's saying get rid of the civil servant and working with the government who are supporting the opposition leader. And I don't know. That is really, really... I'm sure most persons won't accept that. I don't know what your thought on it, Roleza.
Well, I mean, this is a conversation that's been going on since the 28th of November. I won't even say the 27th, but the 28th of November. And I think for persons need to understand and appreciate that it's not that easy to just get rid of folks, right?
Exactly.
One of the things that we have to recognize is that we don't know who persons voted for. Now, yes, there are some persons out there who were vocal under the administration, who showed their partisan support, right? But apart from those persons who we want to believe more than likely they did vote for the ULP administration, you cannot be certain as to who all voted for the ULP, right? Given the overwhelming majority of votes that the NDP won with, it would kind of be folly to think that all of those persons, that many of those persons, okay, I'm losing my train of thought here, that many of those persons did not vote for the NDP. And if you are going to talk about, if persons are going to talk about stopping the victimization, etc., to me, and it's not even just about because there's a change of administration. I am personally of the view that civil servants should not show their partisan support. They should not have done it under the ULP's administration, and they should not do it under this new administration, right? I think when you come to work to do your job, just do your job. If you want to do that in your own personal time, then that is a little different, right? Now, some persons may say that, yes, they did that in their own personal time. But the thing of it is that I'm not comfortable with it, right?
Never.
And
basically, you're saying the new administration should get rid of, let's say, the PS and certain persons in high position who are supporting the ULP.
But are we going to say that all PSs were supporting the ULP administration, or were they doing their job? Right? So how are we going to differentiate between the two? Now, yes, I know that there are some persons who are civil servants who were vocal about supporting the ULP, right? But when it comes down to it, what are they doing their jobs, right? If you're going to get rid of all those who you claim to be or think that they are supporters of the ULP, where is this going to leave some of these departments, some of these ministries? Are there enough persons, or are there competent enough persons maybe to fill in those roles, to then pass on that knowledge to be able to have a well-functioning civil service or department or ministry, etc., right? So it's not...
But one of the things, I wonder if he knows that you cannot fire somebody who working with civil servant like that.
And that's part of the education that needs to go out there. I know that there are persons talking about people undermining the administration, etc. If there are grounds for it, I'm sure that there is a process that's involved. Maybe they can be moved. But people being fired, one of the safest work is government work, you know. One of the safest work is government work.
I understand his frustration.
You may not be fired, but you might be transferred. All right.
I understand his frustration. Maybe he was promised something. So I understand his frustration. But
yeah. All right. Okay, so I think we could leave that. So we are going to head on out of this segment and head into this morning's traffic talk. Well, we bring to you traffic talk in a few seconds. So that is Activated Mornings here on WEFM.
WEFM, the Green Fresh